Oh, welcome back to another episode of On Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we're joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey player Connor Mullins. Connor spent the last season with the Indiana Sentinels, the Twin City Thunderbirds, and the Biloxi Breakers on the FPHL, the Federal Prospects Hockey League. But the year before that, he spent time in the SPHL with the Quad City Storm, as well as with the Danville Dashers and the Danbury Hat-Tricks. And before he spent time in the pros in the Fed and the SB, he spent 5 years in the ACHA with McKendree University. And before that, he spent time in the WSHL, the USPHL Premier, the NOJHL, just to name a few of the leagues that you were a part of. But Mully's a good buddy of mine. Like he's been a teammate of mine with Danville for a little bit, and then he's with me in Indiana this year for a little bit. So he's a good guy to get on the show. So I'm excited to get you on. So Connor, welcome to the show.
How's it going, man? Thanks for having me on. First podcast ever, so I'm ready
There
for
you
it.
go. Yeah, I'm pumped to be your first, but everything's going good here. How about you?
Good, man. We're just off season's kind of like full fledged now, so I just been training a lot on the ice, off the ice. I kind of like I kind of just make my whole life about training, to be honest. Got goals to accomplish out here, so
Hey, gotta love it. Gotta go for the goals and the dreams. Like dreams don't chase themselves.
exactly, man. I won't be able to play hockey forever, so
Yeah, exactly. But like what is your training like since like you're full on like training now? So like what's your off season looking like?
So I used to train with this group. It's called, I still train with them on the ice, but they're called ETS, Elite Training Systems in Whitby, Ontario, where I live. And I used to train off ice with them, but then I just had a few specific things that I like to like tailor for myself regarding training. So I went to start training on my own, and I've been training on my own since last off season. So right now I go to a pretty like state of the art gym. It's at like a Christian college in town, and I just make my own program and definitely like pull from things I've learned in the past. So right now I just train myself off the ice, and then that's like strength, conditioning, agility, like all that stuff. And then on the ice right now, I skating with ETS as well. They run this thing called like the ETS Cup, and it's just it's like a summer league of like professional players from all levels, and like some junior players as well. We get together and we scrimmage once a week. Then I'm in another league like that, ran by Curto Hockey. I'll be skating there tonight, and it's like the same deal, like a bunch of pro players, junior players that get together to scrimmage. And then with ETS, I've got like one or two uh, on ice sessions with them for skills a week. And then aside from that, man, I just bought a new pair of Mars blades. So I've been loving those, man. Those things are awesome. So I actually just tried them out for the first time yesterday, and it's way better than like a regular fixed chassis. You know, like the rocker is just a game changer. So you can definitely save some money,
Yeah.
maybe doing some of my own skill sessions out there.
Yeah, I remember you showed me the Mars Blaze the other day, and like I've heard nothing but good things about it. So it's good that it's living up to the hype.
Yeah, man, I was a little late to the party. I feel like the Mars Blade hype has like kind of dropped a bit, but hey, there's no better time to start than now.
Yeah, exactly. But like it seems like you're getting to a big groove of things and getting
Yeah, for
after
sure.
this off season. So like
Oh,
big
yeah,
goals ahead. You gotta train to achieve those goals.
exactly, man. And
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody is out there doing the same thing, you know. So
yeah,
if I'm not, somebody else is, right?
yeah. And that's a job that someone could take from you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like you grew up in the like Toronto, Ontario area. So like what was it like growing up in Toronto? Like obviously Toronto's like a big hockey hotbed and
Mhm.
just you have like the Leafs obviously up there and the
Yeah.
hockey's really good up there. So like what was it like growing up there?
Yeah, I'm definitely privileged to be like born in this area because playing in the Fed and playing junior in the U.S. and going to college there as well. Like you start to learn that hockey isn't as abundant elsewhere as it is in Toronto. So I'm definitely lucky to have so much hockey around me here and so many avenues I can go down for training and development. and there's just like such a good group of like high level players in this area. But yeah, I was born in Toronto. Lived in like right in the heart of Toronto for a handful of years as a kid, and then my parents they decided to move out to the suburbs. So I just live in Whitby, Ontario, Durham region. It's like doesn't take me long to get to the city, like a little quick train ride or a quick drive. But Toronto traffic can be absurd. So, but yeah, so ever since then, I've just lived in Whitby and pretty much like lived abroad most of the last 10 years. So
Yeah,
yeah,
just traveling all over the place, like getting different experiences. It's like
exactly.
what's it like? Like obviously like you're in Whitby and everything when you're in the off season, but like the different experiences that hockey gives you and just to be able to travel to different states, different cities, like how cool is that? And just like what's like been the best part about like your entire hockey journey of going through those experiences?
Honestly, man, it's like it's been a lot of character development because and a lot of growth in terms of like maturity and just having to be in kind of have to choose to just be an adult like as a teenager because I left home when I was around like 17 or 18, I believe, and I kind of like didn't look back since. So for when I was in school, I was gone about like 9 months of the year, and then home for the rest, and then in the Fed and in professional hockey now, I'm gone for 6 months of the year. So I've definitely had to learn a lot, think on my feet, and like I was just basically forced by life to grow up quickly. I remember my parents. I played juniors in Canada for a bit. Like my whole junior hockey career, unfortunately, was riddled with injuries, which is why I ended up playing for in a lot of places. Just a lot of opportunities ruined by blowing out this shoulder, blowing out that shoulder, breaking this wrist. Like, and it does put you out for a long time. And unfortunately, they were like pretty hefty injuries, so you definitely have to cater to them for a while. Make sure you're 100% when you get back. But I just remember I was 17 or 18. I can't remember how old. I think I was, yeah, I was freshly 18, and my parents dropped me off at the airport. I got my hockey bag, I got my luggage, I got my sticks, and it was just like, all right,
So yeah.
see ya. And I'm just, but yeah, just getting dropped off at the airport, like all that stuff can be applied to like all the things I had to do and figure out, like living abroad. I lived in California, El Paso, Texas. That place was an interesting place. So just, yeah, having to like think on my feet, live on the fly, and just like mature on my own without any, obviously I had my parents and stuff like that on the phone, but that's,
Yeah.
that's limited sometimes.
Yeah, there's nothing more to grow and mature is through yourself and not really
Mm,
having anyone to be there except like you said on the phone, but that's different compared to when you're in person to on the phone.
exactly. And then after juniors, I went to McKendree University for 5 years, where I had a great time. I met a lot of great people and some friends I still talk to today. And yeah, I spent 5 years there. Um, I did a double major in business management and administration, and then I ended up getting my master's in business administration. Um, Shout out Gary Henson, who recruited me there and gave me all the opportunity in the world and truly believed in me, and saw what I had to bring to the or to the program. And I had the privilege of being the captain there for my senior and graduate year. And again, like all the belief he instilled in me, I was able to be the captain there, have successful years, make the all conference team, and eventually, I guess, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, be one of the only players in program history to actually move on to the next level. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then here we are. And we're in the Fed.
Here we are in the Fed.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a journey so far, and all the different experiences and everything like that. But, like, I want to get into like your 5 years in McKendree really quick because like you
Yeah.
obviously had to learn, and like you had a successful career there, like you said, like you had all these different accolades, and then you're captain the last 2 years. Like, what you see from like your freshman year into your graduate year, and just being able to grow into that person, into that athlete, as well as learning how to be a captain as well.
Yeah. So I think when I got to McKendree, we had a great leadership group there, and Gary Henson had a great culture instilled with the program through those leaders. And I was able to, they were able to like take me under my wing as well as my entire freshman class, not just me, and really show us, the McKendree way and how things run there and how to be a stand-up guy, a stand-up player, instilling like morals and values in you. And so that was like definitely instrumental in my development as a leader, just being able to watch a select few of those guys and the way they carried themselves and were leaders themselves. And then I finally ended up becoming the captain there for my last 2 years. And I would say it was definitely there was a lot of like development, honestly, in those 2 years for myself because my by the time I was a graduate student, everybody that I had gone or come in with in my freshman class, they had either graduated or had like left the school at some point. So even in my senior year, I was kind of like maybe I can't remember off the top of my head. I was one of, if not the only, like upperclassman.
Yeah.
And then you just have this whole new wave of freshmen, and it's like, yeah, I've been here 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. I've like established the culture that was established with me, but it's kind of like this guy's gonna leave next year, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like we're gonna kind of start our own thing. And so it was like it was weird being like an upperclassman, the only upperclassman, trying to instill and pass down this tradition, McKendree tradition, to all these like this massive new freshman class. So that was definitely like one of my toughest years at McKendree, but it was also one of the it was probably my most successful year as a personally as a player. So I think that has something to say to that, like super uncomfortable year, lots of adversity that year, a lot of pressure, but it manifested into a great season. So I think there's always something to say about that.
Yeah, that's always huge to have like those uncomfortable years, those years that you're still learning the ropes and
Yeah.
got handed a tough test, but it's like any adversity, like with your injuries, with your shoulders and all your injuries in the past, you had to overcome it, and adversity hits, like you just got to climb right over that thing.
Exactly, man. It's all about adversity. I'm somebody who truly believes like nothing is impossible. Like, and I don't speak on things like that unless I have my own personal experience with it. And it's like I've blown both of my shoulders out and had to have them surgically repaired. I snapped my arm in half. I've fractured my hip. I fractured my spine. Like I was didn't know if I was going to walk again. I was supposed to have my leg amputated, and like I had to build myself back up uh, to where I am now. But if I'm completely honest, I'm grateful for all those things because just always grateful for. I was raised pretty religious. I'm still religious myself. Definitely a different perspective, but I've always been grateful for adversity and suffering. So and always there's nothing bad to me. I think like anything bad that happens or any negative is actually a positive. So yeah.
Yeah, that's huge to think, especially to think like that. Like anything that happens to you is you turn that thing into a positive, because a lot of people will shut down really quick and turn everything into a negative. But Like that's kind of like a similar thing with me. Like all the adversity that I've faced, like it's a learning experience. It's a learning curve. Like it's a different experience. Like you're all like you got to face all these different adversities to come up on top, and you just gotta like even if you get caught, like you learn something from that opportunity. So you turn that into a positive, and then like the bricks stack after that.
Yeah, and in the long run, it's what builds you. So why not be grateful for it?
Yeah, exactly. Like you're a big guy that like on your Instagram stories you always post like stuff that you're grateful for and stuff like that. Like how has that helped you too? Because I'm sure that's helped you not only like not only like be like I don't know how to say like have like a little bit of meditation with that too and just like have like a lot of like visualization stuff. Like what's that been like for you and brought into your life?
Yeah, I feel so. I really got into all of that stuff after almost dying in an accident and where I fractured my spine. And anybody who's played with, I really got into that stuff and definitely dove into my religion a lot more after that. And it's honestly, I'm glad I did because I haven't turned back since, and I feel like my life has gone from here to here. Not that I was like in Mariana's Trench in my life and just in the deepest depths of despair, but like you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
everybody can level up. So I just feel like being regimented for myself is very helpful, and those things specifically have help. I just feel like everybody has, and some people allow those negative things to consume them and take over their life. So I feel like you can either choose to be positive or choose to be negative, and either one you choose will consume you. So I think that's just my way of staying positive, staying locked in, tapping into my subconscious because I believe that's like a big part of everybody. So yeah, just tapping into my subconscious, telling me my believe things I don't even believe, but conscious is going to believe it. So yeah, I love all those things. I read like that. I do that little 5 minute journal, and I read this little book called. It never fails to like feel like it was written for me for that exact day. So props to the author of that. But yeah.
Yeah, that's I love all that. Just like it brings you into a whole different perspective too of
Oh
just
yeah.
how you live every day and what you're grateful for. Like everything's a blessing in disguise. Like whether it's good, whether it's bad, like the worst thing possible could be a blessing in disguise at the end of the day.
Exactly. And I've also seen what it's like to like let the negative things consume you and it doesn't go anywhere positive. So yeah,
Yeah,
to me, there's only one way, and
yeah,
that's to
exactly. And that's everything but everything in to go
and
up.
see the good. Exactly, man.
Yeah. But after your college career came to a close, after your 5 years in McKendree, you got into professional hockey at the Fed, the good old Fed, and you started out in Mississippi for
Oh yeah.
10 games after your graduate year. So like what was it like to dive right into the Fed and really get your boots moving in the Federal League?
So season ended at McKendree, and I think I was at school still getting after it. And then I got in contact with Mississippi, and next thing I knew, I was flying to Biloxi, which was crazy. Just kind of leaving school behind. I had to hoops to like make that possible, just with school and being an international. Um, but yeah, so I went down to Biloxi, played the last 10 games of the regular season, and then we had our playoff series in Columbus, which was a great experience as a rookie because a lot of the games I played we were at home or in Baton Rouge, which is also a great rink to play in. But playoff series in Columbus was a great experience with all the fans that they have, and they do that little. I know we lost, but it was just crazy to see. They have that little goal dance, and they're all in and everything, and that song gets ingrained in my brain every time I play. I'm like singing it in my head. I'm like, what am I doing? But but yeah, so it was a great experience there. Met a lot of people, learned a lot of things. Had my introduction to professional hockey, and yeah, actually scored in my first game on my first shot, which was crazy. So yeah, it was great for my confidence being able to jump from ACHA and go to play professional hockey. I can do this. I can definitely play at this level. And then I started to believe, I can play at the next level. And then eventually I did play at the next level. Was it for long? No, but nothing ever goes according to ideally, but I'll be able to get back there.
Yeah, that's huge. Just have those introductions to professional hockey at that time. Like, what do you think was the biggest thing that you learned going from the ACHA to playing the Fed?
Honestly, how much better the ACHA is than people make it out to be honest. Like I felt I felt going from ACHA to the Fed. Now it's not like this for the entire ACHA. Um, but I just felt like I was ready to go. Maybe that was situational just for me, but I've also seen a lot of other ACHA players go off to have good professional careers and be very talented players. So yeah, the biggest thing, and because I originally to Chatham University D3 when I was coming out of juniors, but then when I went there on my visit, I just was like, I don't think this is the spot for me. And then when I went to McKendree, they off. So yeah, and then I just is the best for my hockey career. I'm gonna go to McKendree instead, and there are a lot of good players I played against, a lot of good teams. Maryville had a great team. Mary had a good team. Jamestown had a team. UNLV, and you've seen what UNLV has been able to do with their program. So there's like a lot of good hockey in the ACHA and a lot of good players that have gone on to play either in the Fed or the SPHL. So, yeah, I'd say that's the biggest thing I learned from the jump that, like, maybe I thought, I wasn't playing NCAA this whole time, but it really, in the grand scheme of things, didn't make too much difference. Because as long as I kept my head down and continued to develop my game, didn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah, it all worked out, and you're able to still develop every year. And then when you got to the Fed, you're able to develop into a pretty good professional hockey player, if I do say so myself. And you're
Thank you,
able
man.
to, of course. But that next year in your first official like full season of professional hockey, you played for the Dashers Hockey Club where we played together for a little bit, and you also played with the Danbury Hat-Tricks for a game, and you got that call up to the SPHL with the Quad City Storm for a few games too. So like, what was that whole first year of pro hockey like for you?
Yeah, that was a absolute roller coaster. I feel like every roller coaster, to be honest. But yeah, so my one coach in Mississippi, he was supposed to go coach in Danville and be like a player assistant with AJ. And so then, to my understanding, I was up for the draft, right? And he was
Yeah.
going there. He liked me in Mississippi, so he put in a good word for me or whatever he did. And Danville drafted me. So then I was just like, let's do this. Let's go to Danville. I went to Danville. I started off the season pretty well. We had that big game to start off the season where we beat Athens, and then there. But yeah, within like the first 4 games of the season, I got that call to Quad City, and that's when I had to leave, touch up at the border, you know what I mean, do all that stuff,
Yeah.
and then go all the way back to Quad City. But I wasn't there for as long as I wanted to be there. Quad City was a great experience. Just such a beautiful rink at the vibrant, and yeah, great experience. I think one thing that it taught me getting called, and regardless of how long I was there for, not everything is, not all the stars are always aligned, and I don't think they were aligned when I was in Quad City either. But yeah, I eventually got sent back down to Danville, and then essentially right when I got back to Danville, I got shipped across the country. So then I got all the way to Danbury, and Danbury just ended up not being the right fit for me, and okay, so eventually went back to Danville.
You had your taste of the first time getting into the Fed with Mississippi the year right after your college year, and then you go into your first official full pro year where you spend time with the Danville Dashers, the Dashers Hot Club where we met and where we were together for a few weeks there, and then you went on to play in the SPHL for a couple games with the Quad City Storm, and then you also went to Danbury Hat-Tricks that year as well. So like, what was your experience like for your first official full pro season and just being able to go to that next level like you said you've always wanted to do when you first got that taste in the Fed?
Yeah, that first year was a roller coaster. Every year has been a roller coaster, honestly. There's a lot of ups and downs and highs and lows in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after Mississippi, my coach there, he took a liking to me, and he was supposed to be a player coach in Danville. So then Danville took me in that expansion draft, and I don't know. I'm the type of guy where it's like I have that opportunity, I'll just go to that opportunity. Sometimes that's just the way it is. So I go to Danville. AJ was the coach at the time. We After camp, we go into the season. I started off the year pretty well, in my opinion, and then I ended up getting that call up to the SB with Quad City. And although I wasn't there for as long as I wanted to be there for, I was very grateful for the experience. Such a good organization with a great rink. The Vibrant was state of the art, honestly. Great room, good group of guys, good culture there, and was definitely grateful for my experience there and what it taught me. And although I wasn't there, like I said, for as long as I wanted to be there, it also taught me that, hey, I can play at this level as well. So, but it was definitely weird getting sent back down to the Fed, where you should, for me at least, you should have more confidence,
Yeah.
because you were at that next level and you're coming back down. But for me, I felt some weird adversity of feeling like the opposite. You know what I mean? But that was adversity that I needed, and I hit the Fed with I didn't miss a stride when I came back. But then when I came back, I almost immediately got traded across the country. It was like I think I ended up driving like 16 hours to Connecticut,
Oh.
where then I was with the Hat-Tricks, and unfortunately, the Hat-Tricks weren't the right fit for me. I think they were under the impression that I was a certain type of player that I'm not, and that's okay because organizations are always looking for what they're looking for. Players are looking what they're looking for, and as you know, and lots of other players know, it's not always the right fit.
Yeah.
So after my time in Danbury, I went back to Danville, and then eventually AJ was let go, and then we had Mr. Stay Frosty himself, Steve Esau, man, the GOAT. He uh, he was actually instrumental in my hockey career. Um, I'll pay some what do I want to call it. I'll give him some credit here, and he was really instrumental in my hockey career. He's the first coach in my professional hockey career that truly like believed in me and truly like saw what I brought to the table and then played me like that. So I got a ton of minutes under him, a ton of belief under him, a ton of development under him, and definitely forever thankful to have had him as my coach. And he keeps in touch with me to this day. So it just shows that, like, you know, it wasn't something in the moment. Like, he truly cared about me as a person and a player, to the point where I was speaking to him the other day, just not even talking about hockey, just chatting about life, and he never fails to encourage me. So definitely grateful to have played for him. And then we had Macker, but I didn't get to know him that well. Unfortunately, I ended up getting injured near the end of the season. I was kind of like bedridden for the rest of the year, and then yeah, that was my first year of pro.
Yeah, it's a crazy first year pro, but like you said, it's a roller coaster every year. It feels like you have those highs, you have those lows, and you just gotta keep grinding your way through the highs and the lows and stay that even keel. But like you also get like good experiences like you did with Danville and Esau, and just how that was good for your development. And like whenever guys like ask me about like Danville, like I'm like that might be one of the best group of guys that like I've played
Oh yeah,
with. Like
yeah,
we
exactly,
all knew like everyone knows what like the record was and everything like that, but like we all showed up every day to practice. We all showed up to have a good time, and
yeah,
there's no cancers in the room or anything. It was just go nose to the grindstone and just have fun with it.
exactly, man. I made a lot of friends from Danville that I still talk to this day. You, Murph, Gags, who else? Tim Delaney.
Yeah.
I didn't meet him that much in Danville, but I definitely became friends with him in Indiana. And who else? Colton Wyzak, Parker, Juju. Like, the list goes on, man. I met a lot of good guys there.
Yeah, and it's all funny because it all comes full circle. The following year, this past year, when we
Mm-hmm.
were all in Indiana together, like it was like a Dashers reunion kind of, and just have the all the guys there and just have good times there as well. Like what
Yeah.
and to like start off the year, like what was that year? What was that time in Indiana like for you? Like it's a lot. It was a lot of growing from everyone, I feel like. So like what was that growth like for you throughout your time in Indiana to start the year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, Indiana was like a really good opportunity at the start for me. They how could I forget? Hey, I'll say it again too. I had became good friends with Trey Fisher too,
Yeah.
Nick Salov, Lester Brown, Kim Yetnin. But like then, so I met Lester in Danville. I'm sorry if I forgot anybody, because there's so
Goes on
everybody
and
was
on.
a good guy. Everybody
Yeah.
was. It was just Danville was a time. But so I met Lester Brown through there, and developed a good friendship with Lester. And then to find out that he was part owner of Indiana. All right. And at the time, I don't know if he was or not, but I ended up getting drafted there in the expansion draft because Danville ceased to exist anymore. And so then they drafted me in the expansion draft. And then I think shortly after they became part owners, and again, like, Lester was another. He wore all the hats in his time in Indiana, but he was another coach and or owner and GM player that was kind of like Esau for me. He believed in my leadership, my character, my skill, my game, and then most importantly, like, gave me the opportunity to display that on the ice. So at the beginning of the year, there was so much adversity in Indiana, but like I was there for it. You know what I mean? I was locked in. I had a great off season. I came into the season, uh, first 10 games, I think I was like close to like a point a game. I had 4 goals in like the first 6 games. I was honored to be named a leader of that team and be an assistant captain there. Again, a bunch of great guys that I met in Indiana. And then, unfortunately, um, there was a change in ownership and a change in coaches, change in management, just all across the board. And I personally feel like then I was no longer in the plans for the future plans for the Sentinels, regardless of my success to start the year off. And that's when I eventually got traded. So
Yeah. And then you spent the rest of the year with Twin City Thunderbirds for 6 games, then Biloxi Breakers for 20 games after that. Like those are some pretty sweet spots. Like you get to go back to Mississippi where your pro career started, and you
hmm.
also get to experience the Twin City Thunderbirds, which that barn and that fan base I've heard is unreal.
Yeah, I have nothing good to say, nothing bad to say about their fan base. Like they have a great booster club, a good organization, a supportive fan base where they pack the house pretty much every game. Met a bunch of good guys there too as well. But again, I don't. I didn't get too much opportunity in Twin City. I don't think I was in their long term plans there. But at the same time, unfortunately, playing devil's advocate because of everything that happened in Indiana, because of how much success I had to start off the season, and it just felt like every bounce was going my way. Then to get traded there after like putting my heart and soul into that organization, I definitely was at an all-time low, honestly, in my confidence as a player, getting traded to Twin City. So playing devil's advocate, that definitely played a factor in in my time there. And then eventually, um, a place I wanted to be traded to was Biloxi. I started my career there. I love that city, greatest city in America. Honestly, I love that place, and uh, yeah, and I also knew a handful of players there that were currently there at the time. So it was like, hey, why not go there? So I hopped in the car, packed all my stuff, and made my way there. And honestly, just like Danville, Biloxi was like one of the greatest times of my life and for sure my hockey career.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's huge, especially because you know you're comfortable with guys there, you know guys there, you play with guys, and like you said, like you may not be in the best spot like in the standings wise, but like for some
Yeah,
reason those teams are the ones that you want to go to if you want to have a good time and like
yeah,
the culture and everything like that those guys have and like they just put their nose to the grind and just work. Like those are some of the best teams that you could play on.
yeah. It's like some people see the standings or the stuff on Facebook, social media, stuff like that, and they make a lot of assumptions. But in reality, when I was there, I don't have anything bad to say about any of the
Yeah.
boys there. And like I had a great time. I made some great friends. We were all, going through everything together. And like, how could you complain living on the beach? I would say every day, I'm like, Dad, I got nothing to complain about. The sun's out. We're living on the beach. We're playing professional hockey in this beautiful Coliseum and with a supportive fan base as well. So it's like, those are the things you have to choose to think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead of anything negative. So yeah, and then I finished my year in Biloxi, and here we are in the off season.
Yeah, there you go. Can't complain. What a time those times are. But like you talked a lot about like maybe some teams, some coaches don't find the role that you're looking for that you think you're that the role player that type of player that you are. So like how do you like overcome like that at that adversity at that point when like you can't really find your role, and like I'm sure it's a mental jam too when that happens. Like how do you break yourself out of it?
Yeah, so one of it's kind of contradictory to what I said, but like I mean, two things can exist at the same time. But I just personally like want to be able to play my style of game and the way I want to play.
Yeah,
But one of the best pieces of advice I feel like I've gotten from a fellow player and fellow roommate, Matt Stoya, was that like you have to be able to when I was a rookie living with him, and he had already played in the OHL, the USHL, played in the SP, successful in the Fed, just about you have to be able to adapt,
yeah,
and you have to be able to play the role that that team wants you to. And I remember him telling me that he stuck in Quad City during his time there by adapting and dropping the gloves and playing like a different role. But you know, I personally have always wanted to just be true to myself.
yeah,
So despite all that, it's like you do have to be adaptable, but then I feel like there's a bit of a give in terms of like being true to yourself and true to your playing style. And sometimes I feel like at this point in my life, and even during those times, it's kind of like a non-negotiable. I'd rather be true to myself and see where that takes me than to be something that isn't me. So I think just staying true to myself during those times were what propelled me forward. And hey, being myself didn't necessarily, and being true to my style of play didn't necessarily always make things work out at certain places. But in my case, I'm willing to experience that if I'm staying true to myself. So
yeah. And like that, and like you've gotten other opportunities because of whether it be like you get released or traded because the your style and the coach's style or how they want you to play didn't work out, but you got another opportunity in somewhere
also,
like Danville or Biloxi or wherever that was, and you were able to succeed and excel there.
yeah, exactly. You always find life always has like a weird way, man. There's a yin and yang to everything.
Yeah, exactly. But like just going off throughout like your hockey career so far, like you played juniors, you played college, you played pro, like what's like if you had to put everything into one to two sentences about like what you've learned and what you've experienced to help others get to the next level, like what would that be?
Yeah, I would say that I've been able to like unfortunately I feel privileged to like have been able to accomplish everything honestly in my life that I've ever set out to do. And I don't think I'm special, in any regard, to be honest. Like I'm just somebody who put their nose to the grindstone, chooses to be positive, chooses to not listen or look at any of the noise. And if you kind of go down that path, then that can compound into something great. So, I like I said, I don't think I'm not special. Like I'm not like some generational talent that's yeah special. And if I can go from blowing both of my shoulders out and fracturing my spine and not knowing if I'm going to walk again or even have two legs, and build myself up to and still be in the best shape of my life right now and accomplish my goals of playing professional hockey, then I really think anybody can. So yeah, never count yourself out. That's what I think. Always your self belief is the most important thing, and if you don't have that, then you should search for it.
Yeah, I love that answer, and like it all goes goes true with everything, not even just in hockey but in life too. Like if you block out that noise, always be positive. Like things are always gonna work out and nothing will really get to you and you'll be able to live live life enjoyable and live life free too.
Exactly, man. And honestly, if somebody isn't hating, then you're doing something wrong. So
Yeah, hey, bring all the haters out because I'm
exactly,
doing something right if they're hating.
exactly, man, exactly. And just keep a good, close knit group of people who like actually truly love and support you. And if you think of it, those are really the only people you're interacting with and seeing on a daily basis. So that group of people are very important. And I'm glad I have a great friend group, and especially have a great family. My mother and father have like always been in my corner, have always supported me. You know, they've come out to my games. My dad flew out to Mississippi to watch me play my first pro game. The second I got called up to Quad City, boom, they were there in the stands. You know, so definitely. Last but not least, my parents have always been in my corner. Like I said, always supported me and seen my vision with for my life and the things I want to accomplish. So I'm definitely grateful and blessed and privileged to have them. So
Yeah, that's huge to have a support group like that. Like it makes everything so much easier because like we've talked about and like like there's dark days in pro hockey and there's only and to have that support and that belief in other people with that other people have in you like it makes it that much easier to get out.
exactly, man. I call my dad when I'm doing my off ice warm up. I talk to my dad before every single game, and it's like without little things like that, like I don't think I'd be able to accomplish the my personal goals. So
Yeah, but you've accomplished them and like you've grown a lot throughout the different experiences. Like I want to jump into like we didn't really jump on like your junior career a little bit, but I want to do that for like a few minutes. Like what was that development period like for you? Just realize that you can go to different leagues and you go higher, especially
mhm.
when you had all those injuries and everything that happened and you were in so many different leagues and juniors. Like what was that development and just that growth like in junior hockey?
Yeah, I'm actually super grateful for what all the adversity, all those injuries, and having to go play in all these different places provided me. Because by the time I got to college and pro, I was just like, this is light work, you know, like this is like I've already been through, like I have a whole case study of my life that like I've already been through this stuff. So that was super helpful. But I just I don't know what it is about me. I've never given up on myself, and I've never seen that like quit. I've never had those quit. Like we definitely have your highs and lows, but like
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, like I've never seen like quitting as an option. So, you know, like I was supposed to play in the CCHL and I blew my shoulder out. Then I ended up going to Strathroy in the GOJHL and fractured my hip. And I don't even know how it happened. I just woke up, my hip had been hurting for a while, woke up one day and like I couldn't even move my leg. There's a hairline fracture in my hip.
Ouch.
Then I had a terrible injury as well, where I like broke my wrist right at the joint, and my hand
Ooh.
slid on top of my forearm. And
Ouch.
like, yeah, it was crazy.
Oh.
And um, yeah, all the adversity that created, like, I'm super grateful for. Then I was like out in the Maritime Hockey League. I played in the NOJHL, the GOJHL, and then 1 year after I blew my shoulder out, it was taking a lot longer to recover, and the season in the Dub S started later, way later than Canadian hockey leagues. So I saw it as an opportunity to fully recover and then go down there and play. And I went and played for the El Paso Rhinos for a bit, which was a crazy time as well. And a couple other teams, Valencia Flyers and Long Beach Bombers in that league. And then I just decided, you know, I'm just going to stay down there. And in between that, I was in the Maritime League, and after my time there, I was just like, am I done with hockey? I don't know. Like I came home and I went to a stick and puck every day. I was essentially still like a very young adult, kind of teenager vibes at that time still, and just skating every day, playing every day, and then I was just like, what am I doing? I called my team that I played for in the at the tail end of the season in the Dub S. Went back there. It was like a week or two, if that, before the WSHL showcase in Vegas, and so I went from essentially like not knowing if I was ever playing hockey again to playing for the team I was playing for the season prior, going to the showcase, and then I we were in Vegas at the time, but I remember being like, "This is my shot. Like this
Yeah.
is my one shot to get like a scholarship somewhere." And there's a lot of distractions in Vegas, especially for a 20-year-old, right, or an
Yeah.
OA.
Uh-huh.
But 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 like yeah, I stayed in my room the entire time I was there. Didn't really leave the hotel much, and it definitely paid off because I had a great showcase, and I talked to like like 10 plus teams at that showcase where, and then I was able to do my visits and narrowed it down, and then like we already talked about, ended up at McKendree.
Yeah, that's huge to go from almost not playing hockey again to going to that showcase in Vegas. Like a lot of
Mhm.
opportunity there with all the teams that are going to be seeing you play, and then really getting into college hockey and dialing it down to where you want to play. Like that's why I want to talk about junior hockey a little bit because like it really started from there and really built what you believed in, what like your system was, and how you've been able to stay true to it throughout the whole time, even throughout all these injuries, all these adversities that you face, and you
Yeah,
accomplished playing junior hockey, you played college hockey, accomplished that, and now you're on to professional hockey. So it's a whirlwind journey, but it's all worth it at the end of the day.
exactly, man. I couldn't agree more. I'm just gonna open my door here. I let everybody know I was doing this, but oh, I don't know what that is. Like random. Somebody
Yeah, but
Nicky and maybe nobody even there. But
Yeah, but
yeah, man.
that's huge to just realize that and just keep going with your system and your belief and just to keep going through everything because it all there is a time like you said like where it was dark and now you're positive and at the light of the tunnel.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. But I have a few more questions before you wrap this episode up. Like what's been your favorite barn to play in your pro hockey career so far?
Okay, definitely in Quad City, the Vibrant, and then we played in Peoria as well, and that was a sick barn too. They've got like Bentley University, the Division
Yeah.
One program, like they have their basketball, I believe, out of there, and a few other sports. And then in the Fed, Athens. Athens is a great barn too. And now they're no longer in the Fed, but like the Fed is like grown so much even from when I just entered the league, which
Yeah.
wasn't that long ago, and now it just seems like everybody has a good barn.
Yeah, and it's just the amount of skilled players that are coming in the league too that are playing NCAA D1 like
Exactly.
the league skill and like the competition keeps getting higher and better every year. So it's good to see how the Fed has changed from even 5 years ago.
Exactly. There's like a plethora of coast players in the league now. Like you said, there's a lot of major junior players in the league, a lot of NCAA D1 players, D3, ACHA. Like it's just grown so much. And it's just crazy to see like some of the players you play with in these leagues. Like even when I was in Quad City, there were guys on the team who had been drafted to the NHL, or like I played against Peoria and there's somebody on the team who played in the American League, and it was just like, wow, like, we're out here on the same ice in the same league playing with these people. And so it definitely gives you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, for sure. It's like it's super cool to just like take take a breath every once in a while and realize where you are. Like you said, like you're in the SPHL and you're playing against NHL draft prospects, like guys that have played in the American League, guys that have played in the coast, even the Fed, like guys that play in the coast, and
Yeah.
that's like the end goal for a lot of people in the Fed is to
Mhm.
play in the ECHL and
Mhm.
just to have all those people on the same ice and you're able to learn so much from guys like that, even if you're playing against them and like we all just love the game.
Exactly, man.
Yeah. But I think that's a great place to wrap this episode up. So Mully, thank you again for coming on the show.
You,
I
man.
appreciate
Appreciate
your
it.
time and let's go hopefully we play against each other sometime this season
Yeah,
or
man.
with each other.
Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome, man. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. We'll keep in touch, and congrats on your PTO. I saw you sign. So
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Good luck with you wherever you end up too.
yeah, I got a few spots I'm talking to, but I never like to speak on unfinished business yet.
Yeah.
So
You can't do that. You gotta
soon.
stay mysterious.
Exactly, man. All right, dude. Take care and keep
Yeah, you
grinding.
yeah, you too, buddy.